Welcome to Sales Logic. If you go to Costco, they're selling Christmas trees. So what does that mean? The year 2020 is coming to a fast close. Thank goodness. Meredith, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Well, yes, it is the unofficial end of summer, correct?
Hold it. Starbucks has pumpkin spice lattes now available too. So clearly,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, what is the what's the temperature there in Nebraska today?
Well, it is right now. It is a balmy 51, and Sunday, I believe it was like 98 or something like that. So yeah, it's cooled off, but we're not getting the snow that they're getting in Colorado, and you can stay right there. So you are probably what 85 degrees and low humidity, and
yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Asheville, North Carolina. We're in the 80s today, but we're going to be in the mid 70s the rest of the week.
Oh, I'm so heartbroken. So anyway, Did you have a good
Labor Day weekend?
Had a great Labor Day weekend. I worked all weekend. So because it's Labor Day, right? I mean, Labor Day, you are supposed to work. So no, I labored all weekend. My wife was out of town, and I got a lot of work done. So yeah. What about you? I know golf, tennis, cycling, all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, you got to take advantage of these long days because they are going to come to an end before we know it. So trying to do as much outside as I possibly could, but got a little more progress made on my book, and I actually had a couple of meetings yesterday on Labor Day. So
that's good. Because yeah, you were kind of holed up for a week down at the beach working on your book. So that's coming along well.
Yeah, everything is it's coming along even better than expected. It's going to take a little longer to get out because we've gone into just a little bit more research, but I think that things are good and going forward. But how many reviews are you up to now?
I think we hit 121 reviews on the book A Mind for Sale. So hey, a lot of people have got a mind for sale. So yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm pleased. In fact, we're going to do the 6-month anniversary launch here in a few weeks. So, but hey, I want to know more about your book. When is the projected launch date? When do you intend to release it?
We were going to go for December, but I think I'm going to release it at the first of next year. But we'll be doing a lot through the fall. A couple of meetings I had yesterday were with public relations and marketing people. We're going to be doing a lot this fall to just release a lot about the book and some of the teasers and get some of the information out there.
Okay, so you're going to tease us with parts of it before you release the whole thing. Is this a conspiracy theory?
No. It's actually information that you're going to want in your business. And I just can't wait till the first of the year to get it out. So we got to release.
Okay, I see. So this is now a tease. You're saying this is information that you want to have in your business. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I got to make you want to listen to it, right?
Oh, we're going to do the audio book too?
I'd like to.
Well, you said you're going to listen to the book, so that means you have to do the audio book. You can't sit there and tell the audience that you're going to do. You can listen to the book and then not do an audio book. Come on, Meredith.
Let me just get the book finished first before I get that far ahead.
Okay. Hey, we should remind people about the Business Leadership Roundtable too, because that's that project you and I are working on with our good friend Sam and Mary Kelly.
Yeah, and in fact, you'll want to catch us on LinkedIn Live this Thursday at 5:00, where we'll be talking about another section of our groundbreaking white paper and talking a little bit about our brand new mastermind, the Business Leadership Roundtable. You can go to businessleadershiproundtable.com, find out more about the mastermind, and as well as get a download of the white paper.
And that's 5 p.m. Asheville, North Carolina time on Thursday.
Oh, yes. Eastern time, 5:00 Eastern. That's right. I always forget about that.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, it's caught us more than a few times off guard when Mayor says 5 o'clock, and I just assume 5 o'clock Central Time, and no, that's 5 o'clock Meredith time. So anyway,
Yeah, that's a bit of an East Coast snobbery thing, I guess, right? We assume everybody's on our time.
Hey, just remember, I moved to the Midwest from the East Coast, okay? So I can cop a little Jersey attitude if I want to. So,
That's right.
But I will let it go at that. So anyway, so hey, what do we got? What do we have on the show today?
We've got, we're going to be talking about sales presentations and what you need to do to move up the sales ladder. So I think we're getting a big push from our producer, and I think he's right. I think we should start this show. What do you think, Mark?
I think he sent us the cue. Start. Let's go, Micah. Go.
When we prospect with integrity, we will get customers who have integrity. Integrity is the foundation from which everything is built on.
You better understand value. But at the end of the day, sales is a relationship business. It is a people business. It is an emotional business.
Who has made a prospecting call today?
This is Sales Logic.
Most people refer to VanillaSoft as the solution. It's the solution to ensure sales reps make the right number of attempts for every lead across all channels, including email, social, and the phone. It's the solution to serve the rep the next best lead every single time. You need to get your solution at vanillasoft.com.
All right. Welcome to Sales Logic, the show where we dive into the strategies, share the tips, everything that you need to know to well sell logically. I'm Meredith Elliott Powell, and I am here with my co-host, Mark Hunter.
Hey, good afternoon, Meredith. It's great to be with you. And don't you always love Daryl Prail's voice with VanillaSoft? I mean, there is energy in that voice. So thank you, VanillaSoft, for being our sponsors. Very much appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we love having them on board. Really incredible company, and Daryl's really an incredible guy.
We got a lot of good stuff planned today, man. We got a great question that came in from South Africa. I love that. We got a great topic. We got a lightning round, and of course, we've added that fourth piece where we talk about a book. So we need to kind of dig into the show. Mayor, why don't you walk us through what are the things specifically we're going to be talking about?
Yeah, so always remember that we start this show by talking through one of your questions. So if you have a question for us, just reach out to our website, saleslogicpodcast.com. Again, saleslogicpodcast.com, or just put it up on social media and use the hashtag SalesLogic. This is the way the show works. We're going to roll through our question, cover a topic, and the lightning round. And Mark, what we're diving into today is our topic is sales presentations in a virtual world. How do you differentiate yourself, establish your credibility, and land the deal? The lightning round is going to be the top do's and don'ts of great sales presentations. But let's go ahead and kick off with this week's question. It comes to us from, as you said, Cape Town, South Africa. I am currently a sales professional for a large manufacturing firm in Cape Town, South Africa. I love my job and consistently exceed my goals. I want to become a sales leader. What tips do you have for me? And this is from Sierra, and it actually came to us on LinkedIn. So, Mark, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
Well, first of all, you got to start thinking and acting like a sales leader. And regardless whether or not you're in that position or just whatever, you lead. This means you act and behave as if you were a sales leader. Here's the piece that you stop and have to ask yourself this question. Who is following me now? Who am I leading now? And what am I doing? And the two main components that I look in a leader are A, am I able to train my people? In other words, can I train my customers? Am I able to educate my customers? And two, do I leave them in a more positive state after I get done with them? So those are two things that you really have to be doing as a salesperson to even be in the running to be considered somebody who could be a sales leader of a sales team. What about you?
I think the first thing that you need to do is really spend some time with a sales leader and think about if this is something you really want to do. I think that Mark and I both have experienced more than a few sales professionals who have been great at sales, who moved into a sales leadership position, and it wasn't exactly what they needed to do. What made you great as a sales professional, really being out with customers and landing the deal? You got to give some of that up when you become a sales leader, because your priorities really shift to starting to investing in others and motivating, coaching, and developing them to be able to want to do it. So I'd really suggest a really good next step for you would be to ask to spend some time with some of the sales leaders around you, both to learn what they do so you can see exactly what the job is, but at that point determine if that is really what you want to be doing.
One of the big mindsets that I find new sales leaders have a problem with is understanding who is it that they lead. They still think they lead the customer. No, your account manager, your account exec, whoever it is, they're the ones who lead the customer. Your role is to lead them. And that means you can't be the one who swoops in the ninth inning with 2 outs and you come in to close the deal. You can't be the one who comes in and saves the day from the salesperson or no. Your job as a sales leader is to help uncover incremental opportunities before they're known to other people. That's one of the key attributes that I find too many sales leaders don't seize upon. It's one thing that I stress when I'm working with new developing sales leaders is to get them to put a challenge before them, to say that your role is to help develop and find and identify incremental sales opportunities that are not known to the rest of the organization. Then you're really doing your job. Now you're bringing new food to the table.
Yeah. I would add that I think that you need to start developing and investing in people now. Don't wait until you get the leadership position. Prove you can do the job before you take over the job. Again, being good at sales is about being an individual producer. Being a sales leader is, can you develop the people around you to be as good, if not better, than you are at sales? And kind of encircling back to what Mark said at the beginning is that you want to start doing the job before you get the job. And one of the ways to prove that you can do that is you want to develop a few people around you to get even better at sales. So good luck, Sierra. I know you will make an amazing sales leader, and this profession always needs really good sales leaders, because goodness knows that it's the better the sales leader, the better the team will be. But Mark, how about we go ahead and jump into the topic for today?
It's a great topic. Sales presentations in a virtual world. How do you differentiate yourself, establish credibility, and land the deal? It's virtual, so I'm just going to send myself in as an avatar. Why don't you jump in first, Mayor?
Yeah, I love this topic because I've been working so much in this area lately, really trying to help organizations move into this virtual world of making sales presentations. And I think the first place that you need to start is by understanding that you need to work even harder, in my opinion, to build relationship, build connection on the front end. You're going to establish your credibility. You're going to have time to make your pitch and to do all those types of things. But if you want people to listen to you, you have to begin by listening to them. And remember that people virtually or in person are going to buy from you because you understand them, not because they understand your product or service. So really begin the sales presentation by spending time in learning about them by doing some things on the front end that are investing in engaging your audience before you go right into your pitch. Bring them into the sales presentation.
You bring up a line that I love to use, and that is your reputation arrives before you do. Now, this is the way it is in every step of the sales call. Your reputation arrives before you do, because no customer is going to talk to anybody without first checking you out online. But let's stop and take a step back, because if we're trying to, how do I differentiate myself? How do I establish credibility? It's about authenticity. Authenticity, more than ever, is so critical in a virtual world, because we are living in a more and more of a jaded society, a warped society, because there's so much noise out there. And that means being authentic. And you and I have used this word. We use it a fair amount. I almost hate saying it, but integrity. You have to have that level of integrity established in the marketplace before, because otherwise all you are is you're just a poster child for some presentation, and there better be some substance behind it.
I'm going to add that I think that you need to really get to know your audience before a virtual presentation. Understand that in virtual, while I can still see you, you can still see me. There's more of a distance. And when there's more of a distance, your audience is uncertain, they're unsure, and they want to make sure they're making the right decision. So that means that your presentation has to speak specifically, to them. You need to know their customers. You need to know their challenges. You need to know the makeup of their organization. And your presentation better be laced with some of those nuggets to show that you have truly customized the presentation and you really understand who they are and what they're looking for. People connect to you, again, when they feel like they've been heard, and when the presentation feels customized to their particular needs. That really makes a difference.
And that means the questions have got to be engaging to them. And that's right there. We have to double down on our level of engagement with the other party. We might be doing it by way of Zoom. We might be doing it by way of WebEx, Microsoft Teams, maybe a telephone call. I get to sit in and observe too many online presentations that really could just as well be delivered by way of a YouTube video, because they're basically one-way communication. We have to be engaging. But what does this mean? This means right up front, you have got to, and Mary, you've been talking about it in terms of really understanding who is that customer before you get into the conversation. What drives them? What motivates them? Where are their people? We have to do more homework coming into a virtual presentation, a virtual sales call, than I think we had to do in a live sales call, face to face. And it just because it moves faster, and we got to be ready much, much earlier.
Yeah. I would also say that you need to really learn the art of storytelling. I think the storytelling is always really important in presentations. It has a big place in the middle of a virtual presentation. Remember that your audience can Google most of the things about your product or service, so don't worry about all the little bells and whistles. They've done their homework too. They know that. What are the stories, and how can you use story to give them good examples and establish the credibility that you need to really make them see, oh, I understand how the product or service would solve our particular solutions or our particular challenges. So when we go into a sales presentation, you want to have a strong open. You want to establish your credibility right off the bat. You want to speak specifically to their challenges and their concerns, and then really use story to back up your point. That story is what makes you memorable. And good stories are what make people truly, deeply understand what it is that you're trying to talk about with some of the bells and whistles that you're making in your sales presentation.
Yeah. And there's several key components to a good story. One, it has to be relatable, and it has to be your story. Now, it isn't necessarily that it's your story, but you have to tell it in your words because it becomes much more believable. You have to be able to tell it in a way that the customer can put themselves into the story. If they can't put themselves into the plot, into the story, there's no hook. All you're doing is they're just watching a Netflix show. They have to feel part of it. And if you think about it, you watch a good movie, you watch a good show, you can literally put yourself into it. And that's what's so key. And the final piece is it has to connect back to the outcome. And the customer is the one that has to understand what the outcome is. It's not for you to share the outcome. It's for the customer to know what the outcome is. And when they say what the outcome of the story is, think about it. Then you've hit home. Then the story becomes both saleable and it becomes memorable.
Yeah. And last but not least, I will tag one more on. You better have a call to action. Is don't leave that meeting without the very next step of what's going to happen, who's going to do what, and when the next reach out on your part is going to be. So I think that sales presentations, as much as we don't like it, we should plan for them. We should structure them. We should role play them. And when they go well, we should do an autopsy and see why they go well. And when they don't, we should do an autopsy and see what didn't work. So it's just consistent. It's consistent improvement. But Mark, you ready to talk about this week's book and this week's author?
Yes. Let's talk about our good friend, Bill Cates, who every time you golf with him, you beat him handily, correct?
I'm sure Bill will really appreciate you sharing that.
Well, hey, look, you and I have never golfed, but I already know that you would probably beat me pretty much hands down, knowing how much you play golf. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. But I'll tell you what, Bill's written several great books, and his most recent book, Relevance, is absolutely, I think it's his best book because it really talks about all of his pieces about referrals, because he's known as the referral coach. But he really makes it really relevant. What were some pieces that stuck out to you in the book?
Well, here's a copy of the book, and you can find it on Amazon. Again, the author is Bill Cates. I loved this book. I actually read it twice. I was lucky enough that Bill gave me a copy of it. But what I really loved about it is that so much that Bill has written about has been about almost after you close the sale, getting the referral. But in Radical Relevance, he really dives into what you need to do to craft your message so that the customer feels like they can't live without you. And the book is really full of, it's very easy to read. It's in really short paragraphs, but he always gives you an action and something to do. So the book is really practical, and he tied it back a lot to his online course, which you get access to if you read the book. So it's kind of a no-brainer not to take a shot at it.
I'm thinking you got a free copy of the book because you beat him in golf. I did not get a free copy of the book from Bill. I had to buy it, and I still did videos with him for the book on YouTube. So clearly, I guess there's something I need to up my golf game. That's all I'm saying. But the book, Radical Relevance by Bill Cates.
Dan Thurman's going to have to buy my book on Friday because I'm playing golf with him, and he's going to kick my hiney all over the place. I have no doubts about that. But yeah, Radical Relevance is a great read. And I think Bill printed it before, he published it before COVID, but it is probably even more relevant post-COVID, because being relevant is really the key right now. It's truly what matters and what's going to differentiate you in the marketplace. So with that, it is probably time to get into the lightning round. And the lightning round.
I got to stop you for 1 second. Because if you're playing golf with Dan Thurman on Friday, are you both going to be on unicycles? Because he just does things in a most unusual manner. So I'm thinking that he's going to show up at the golf course on a unicycle and expect you to play golf on a unicycle. Is that?
Yeah. I don't have that kind of core strength.
Okay, you will work.
All
on it.
right,
Okay,
time
go
for
ahead.
the
Set up lightning. Go ahead.
time for the lightning round. The lightning round, the do's and don'ts of great virtual sales presentations. So, Mark, kick us off.
Hey, first one out of the chute is make sure you're engaging the customer right from the start. I like to say don't talk for more than 20 seconds without engaging the customer.
I am going to say, don't rely on your PowerPoint or visual aids. They are there to support you, but they are not the presentation.
I'm going to say if the customer demands a copy of your presentation ahead of time, fine. You send it to them 30 seconds before you meet.
I would say don't talk the entire time. Make sure that at least every 8 to 10 minutes you have some way to engage the audience that is listening to you, so that it's a bounce back and forth.
I'm going to add to that one there is make sure you take whatever they share with you and ask them a follow-up question, because in any sales presentation, the best information shared by the customer is not going to be the first comment. It's what I say, going 3 levels deep. You drill down deep to get to the good stuff.
Yeah, and I'll follow up on that. Don't share information they don't need. Every customer has pain points. Usually I say 2 to 3 pain points, and your presentation should solve their most urgent needs. So don't give them information about your product or service, however sexy you believe it is. Don't include it there. Keep it really focused on what their urgent needs are. You can offer it as more information later and let them know you have more to share, but keep it focused.
You stole that one from me, because I was going to say if your sales presentation is a demo, that means you do not demo every aspect of it. You keep it as short and as tight, and only be sharing what the customer absolutely needs to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that don't make the mistake of not looking like your audience. If you are speaking in front of a younger group, make sure that somebody in your sales presentation is reflective of their age. If you're speaking to a very diverse group, make sure that you have a group presenting to them that looks like them. People want to know that you understand them, and one of the ways that we do that is to present a diverse look, if that's what they're looking for. At the flip of that, if it were not a diverse group, I would probably go with that presentation look as well.
I'm going to add that. Make sure that you engage them all the way through. And here's one of the ways that you do this is by working into your presentation elements or parts that they've shared with you in previous conversations. What does that demonstrate? It demonstrates that you know what's going on with them. Why don't you share one more, and then I'll go ahead and shut it down.
Yeah, I would say that, make sure that you do role play, that you do plan, and that you do structure it. You go in there well rehearsed, knowing what you're doing, so well rehearsed that you can be really natural about it. Never wing a sales presentation.
And again, you stole one from me, because my line is the best sales presentation is the one never given, because you know your stuff so well, so good that you don't even need a presentation. So with that, hey, let's go ahead and shut things down. I want to say thank you for listening to Sales Logic this week. If you like what you hear, subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast app. If something we've said has earned you a single dollar, consider telling a friend about our show. It's how we grow to help you grow. I'm Mark Hunter.
And I'm Meredith Elliott Powell.
Remember, when you sell with confidence and integrity,
uncertainty suddenly becomes your competitive advantage.
And the sale becomes logical. We'll see you next week.
Next week.